Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today is my April submission for Inky and Scrappy's Get Creeping on Halloween card challenge. And today we are going to be working with the Waffle Flower Postage Collection. I really love this set. I know a ton of people use them in a lot of videos, and it's just like a very popular trend right now, and I feel like it's one that will last quite a long time just because there is so much you can do. These are just some simple blocks that look like postage stamps, but like there's just so much you can do with it, and like the options really are limitless because you can use the products that coordinate with this set, or you can use your own products to work different scenes and images into these cards, which makes it like super versatile, and I love that. That being said, I did buy a lot of Waffle Flower stuff. I don't have any of the stencils. The only stencil I do have is the block stencil, I believe, that helps color in the areas that I'm die cutting this time, because I bought the postage collage. I think it's the block die. It just cuts out like the matting layers for the inside of the postage stamps, and it's a lot easier, I think, doing, images and blending on these squares as opposed to trying to stencil color in and maybe having to do masking and stuff. But at the same time, I will do either technique depending on the situation. If I want the card to be a little bit more flat, or if I want it to look like a more realistic stamp, then I would probably use the stencil. If I'm doing it as just like a dimensional card and I just want to have a bunch of them, I'll probably just cut them out like this. Also, the frame that you get from it can also be used for another card, so it's kind of like 2-for-1 cards in a sense, if you're not using the frame, but then the frame kind of like takes away from the postage stamp look if you do that instead. But anyway, so I used the postage collage die in the A2 size, the coordinating blocks die, and also the new wax seals dies, and absolutely love them. They make the cutest little like faux wax seals, and I just had a lot of fun making the one that I did on this card, and I'll show you what I do with that in a bit. But for now, I have ink blended all of the squares with like a sunset look in Citron, Mandarin, and Cherry, I believe, from Simon's Positively Saturated line. And then I'm using this, I think it's called Spooktacular, Postage Collage Spooktacular stamp set. It's got like the cancellation marks and the like 31 cents for Halloween, like they're all Halloween themed. And there was these cute little like bats in there. I'm cutting them apart because I don't want them in the same orientation in this other one. I don't have a problem with that. I'm never ever gonna like die cut these out or anything. If there was a coordinating die with it, I don't think there is, but anyway, I just decided to cut them apart, and I'm creating like a little graveyard scene in this other one. And I think these are the only two that I actually add these silhouette images to. And then the other ones, I'm using a Hello Bluebird set called Frightful Little Bits or something like that. Again, these ones like aren't available anymore, so I did kind of show you Mama Elephant's Little Agenda Ghost stamp set, which would work great for that. And then Lawn Fawn's Fantastic Friends stamp set is good for the bats. And I was going to grab those originally, but I kind of wanted to use the other stamps that I had because I like the bats. They're really cute. And just the little pumpkin faces and stuff. Oh, I am using this spider stamp as well, just to add a little bit to it. I do have the spiderweb postage collage stamp set too, which is like another like mini set. I think they also coordinate with the sizes of these like stamp blocks. So I didn't want to pull out another set just for some spider webs, so I'll leave those for now, maybe use them next time. But for now, the background panels are done, and I just need to stamp and color the images that will go on the rest of the card. Also, because I stamped these gravestones at the end, the white cardstock kind of shows a bit, so I just used a black marker to go over the edges, just so that it would help blend it in a bit better and wouldn't look so messy. And now it's time to stamp. I did try to stamp the images on a smaller piece of paper than I should have, so I usually try to use up my scraps as much as possible as soon as possible, especially with the white cardstock that I use for stamping, which is just Hammermill 110 pound bright white, I think it is. And this just wasn't working. I didn't want to put them too close together because I wanted to make sure that I left a little bit of a white border, and I needed to stamp quite a few images, so I just decided to grab another piece of paper, and I'll use this other one later for something else, but I tried. And I'm just gonna stamp and color these, and while I do that, I'll probably pop on some music so that you guys can listen to that while I color, and I'll be back once that's done. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to work on the wax seal. I cut this out of some orange cardstock. It's a little bit lighter than what I need, so I'm going to color it after. And I probably should have colored it first, but I wasn't even planning on coloring it, so we'll get into that. But I'm just putting on that middle layer here so I see how much space I have to work with. Technically, you could stamp the whole area of the bottom layer, but it would just get cut off wherever the middle layer layers onto it, because it will go over those edges. But I found that this pumpkin image just fit perfectly in there, so we're going to be using that. And I'm going to heat emboss it in white, so it's almost like when you do a wax seal, there's more definition on the inside, and then sometimes people will go over with them with like acrylic paint markers or some kind of metallic permanent marker or something like that, just to bring out those raised edges. So for this one, I think heat embossing is the best way to get that look without having to do too much work. And you could still do it in like the silver and gold or the white, or you can even do it in like a clear. I don't know if there's a matte embossing powder out there. If there is, let me know, because I feel like that would be interesting. But if you use the clear embossing powder, it's generally shiny from my understanding and what I have, and that would just leave a bit of a shine. But if you did it like tonal, it would just look slightly different color because it looks a little bit darker underneath the embossing. Plus, again, it gives you that shine in that area, and then maybe you could add a little bit of shine to the edges, to the wax or something like that, like these edges that I'm coloring now. So originally I had done the middle layer maybe to look like it had a little bit more of an indentation into it. It doesn't, from what I could see. So I ended up coloring the rest of it in not the same orange. I think I still did it in a lighter color. But I decided to color in the rest of the cardstock as well, and I was as careful as I could be around the embossing just so that I didn't color it, because it does not come off. You can use a white gel pen to go over it, but I didn't want to have to go over the entire thing. There was a few areas that I did have to spruce up a little bit, but that was fine. It worked out great. And now we are going to build the postage stamps. This time I decided to leave it as is on the card. Normally I use, 3 to 5 of the postage stamps and I'll lay them out on a card instead of leaving them together. But I know a lot of people that leave them together at the same time, and it does fit nicely on an A2 sized card with a bit of a border. And I, just decided to leave them together today. And I did it in black because I saw a video where Amy R did it in purple with butterflies and stuff, and I thought that that was genius. I don't know why sometimes I think that I have to do everything like normal in a sense. Like I always cut out these postage stamps in white and then I'll ink blend the color in the middle and then add the images to it, but I always do it in white. I didn't think of doing it in another color. So I think sometimes, other people bring out their ideas and they definitely either, remind you of something or they inspire you, and that helps. Like, I don't know a ton of people who have tried doing this in color. I have so many ideas for different colors now since I've been doing this. So, and I also, again, bought some more Waffle Flower products, so you'll see them later. But anyway, back to the card. So I decided that I didn't want so much white on the card, so I'm going to matte this in a purple that somewhat matches the bats in the background, just to pull that in a little bit more, because that is the only time I used purple was the 2 bats. And then I'm gonna matte these on that, and then matte that again on the white card base, which I thought was just perfect. It just added that little bit of extra purple we needed. And off screen, of course, because I always forget about this and do it after, I added my atmospheric dots in my glitter gel pen and white highlights with the white one. You'll see it in the finished photos. But that's pretty much our card for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so, and then give me a follow over on Instagram and Facebook for additional content. Until next time, thanks guys, bye.